Hey guys, welcome to Campfire Sports. He's Bud, I'm Pops, and we thank you for joining us for our very first episode of Campfire Sports, Bud and Pops. We're a father and son team and have been discussing, debating, arguing sports for as long as we can remember. We'll be here from 7 to 8 every Tuesday, sitting around the campfire, talking Boston sports and more from a Gen X and a millennial point of view. Please like and subscribe for more content. For our first episode, it'll be about Week 12 Patriots debacle against the Giants. Bud, where do we even begin?
I don't even know. I don't know if it's like the coaching issue or if it's truly Mac Jones. Mac Jones came to a point of his first year with us, and we saw something great. Like we are like, okay, it's his first year. He could do like a fantastic job. Then it turned into his second year where he had like a major decline. So you don't know if it's coaching or if it comes off to just his style of play and how he plays.
Is it what he's used to? Is it because Josh McDaniels was a true educator as an offensive coordinator? We all know that head coaching is not his forte, but as an offensive coordinator from 2004 until just a couple years ago with the Patriots and a little stint with Denver, he's been on point. He has had Brady. Um, you know, I think Mac coming out of his first year, coming into the second year, we gave him an excuse with Patricia.
Yeah, I agree with
But
that.
if you really look at it, let's call Billy O'Brien boob because it's exactly what he is for right now. Because Matt Patricia was a better offensive coordinator than Billy O'Brien has been in the weeks that we've been playing.
Yes, I agree. I feel like he's gotten a better shot this year at it. I think Billy O showed him things, but I also think that I just don't understand the coaching on one end of Billy O coming in, supposedly giving Mac Jones more of a chance to do things. And I think Mac Jones is trying to create more plays instead of them like we know they can run the ball. And we see the ball being very healthy this year between Stevenson and Zeke. And when they do run that ball, they look fantastic. But then all of a sudden they get away from it and just start throwing these passes to the other team, not even to a receiver. Like Juju was wide open. And he didn't even look that way. He looked to the right and he just settled on throwing it to the right. So is it not making the right reads?
I don't know if it's pre-snap. I
Yep.
don't know if the wide receiving core, because they've been so injured and it's been such patchwork that he hasn't had time to make friends and know where he's going with the ball. Like, I don't know, when he was a rookie, Hunter Henry was his man.
Yep.
Where is Hunter Henry?
Gone.
Like people say he's on the side of a milk carton. Where
Yes.
is he?
That,
He's
that.
missing.
And it's like
And
when these receivers get a shot, they drop the ball.
truth, absolute truth, with everybody but Pop.
Yeah. Pop
Everybody but
Douglas.
Douglas.
The only issue with Douglas that I have is his fumbles, but he's a rookie. That's something I feel like you could teach and secure the ball a lot better.
Securing the ball, yeah, absolutely, 1,000%. But when he's the only one that's catching the ball, then
Yes.
what is it? Last year we had what's his name went to Baltimore. He's a star in Baltimore now.
You mean
Had three
no,
catches.
the one that went to the Raiders, Jacoby
No,
Myers.
no. The one that went to Baltimore.
Who went to Baltimore?
Oh, what's his name? He came from. Regardless, last year that he every time he caught the ball, he'd run a slant, he'd run 30 yards, and he'd fumble.
Oh yeah,
Mac
yeah, yeah,
Jones
yeah.
hasn't really had a shot because nobody has ball security.
Yes, I can give that. I agree. I just, I just don't understand it. Like people, like we've talked about in the past, was it Bill? Was it Brady? With how Bill coaches, look at that defense. What has always been secured for years after years after years is our defense. Offensive wise, like I was talking to my wife about it, that we've never had a big named receiver besides Randy Moss. Everyone else was created in New England. And when they left, they were a nobody.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Nobody. Randy Moss was the only one that could bounce from any team, and literally his hands are like glue, so he'd be able to catch the ball. You look at our team right now, I do believe another quarterback could come in here and play. And these receivers, they wouldn't be like, hey, top notch, but they'd be okay. I think if Tom was here and they brought Juju in then, before Tom left, Juju would have over 1,000 yards. Look at Patrick Mahomes. He had 1,000 yards last year. And his knees were still gone.
Yeah, I mean, and the year before that he was with Roethlisberger, so Roethlisberger can put ice on a rope, throw the ball on a dime, and when it was the Steelers and Roethlisberger, Juju and Claypool, and then you had I don't even know how to say his name, Freersmith.
Yeah, something like that.
Tight end.
Yes.
You had these three guys that were running routes and running solid routes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem now. Like, the problem now with the wide receivers, it's not that they're not talented.
No.
They wouldn't be in the NFL if they weren't talented.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, they're not running the correct routes. The offense, I suppose, can be confusing.
Yes.
Because HOF, Ocho Cinco struggled in this offense. Right? And it's not much of a different offense. Actually, it was Billy O'Brien's offense that Chad Ochocinco was in.
Yes.
Right? So when you think about it, who are your successful receivers? Amendola.
Yep.
Welker.
Yep.
And Edelman. Why? Why is that?
There were slot short passes. Tom was that take short passes and come back.
You're right. They ran solid routes.
Yep.
They might not have been the greatest in the world. They might not have, and they weren't when they went other places.
And Edelman, Welker, they were that catch the ball, and it was the yards after the catch.
Exactly.
It would be 5-yard little pass and end up being a 21-yard gain because of their catch and see ya.
And because of injuries, and I'll give them a small, tiny excuse.
Agreed.
Because of injuries, Mac in the last 3 years has really never had the opportunity to build a relationship with anybody else that's catching the ball, except for Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, that was like his nookie.
Right, and let's get rid of him, and we'll bring in Juju for the same money. But is Juju better than Jacoby?
I don't know. I just think what Juju, and I do believe, and we still haven't seen it, what Juju was better at was red zone. He could score and get a touchdown. What Jacoby Myers is good at was literally getting them down to the red zone and then I disappear.
Yeah, third downs.
Yeah.
That's
always.
But where? So you bring Juju in because Hunter Henry's not performing in the red zone? Like we just talked about how these players don't get an opportunity, or they're just not good when they're here. But Jonnu Smith, he's pretty damn successful in Atlanta.
Yes.
Like he is. Is it because he has the young kid from Florida that Pitts?
I think so. I think it's a little bit of that.
But they're no more talented on offense than we are.
No,
we have a better running game than they
do.
Yeah,
we blow them away in the running game.
They have a better number one receiver than we do.
Yep.
But their tight ends are comparable.
Yes.
Pitts is in his second year, maybe? Second year.
Yeah, and he's been a decent tight end. If you had him in fantasy, you've already put him and kicked him to the curb.
And now you slot Jonnu in.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to think of before was Aguilar.
Oh, yes.
Aguilar's now with the Ravens and acting a fool.
Yeah.
In Baltimore.
Yep.
Jonnu Smith acting a fool in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Did they dumb down their offenses for him?
No.
They're doing a run-pass option with Baltimore. He's in the pocket a little bit more. But so all these players, why are we so conservative? Like that's the piece of the game that's missing. We're now conservative in the passing game, so we don't throw the ball very often. And I get it because the old philosophy, in order to beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game with Tom Brady, It was run the football, keep them off the field, waste the clock, good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't have that anymore.
No.
Because when it's 3rd down and 9, because you didn't run the ball in the first 2, did a direct snap, and then you threw a screen pass.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Just like you had written down, what they did this past week was literally a punt, a punt, a punt. Then we threw a pick, then a punt.
Yeah.
Then we finally scored because we ran the ball.
Right.
And Stevenson was
And then-
like, bye. And as Zeke Elliott, I couldn't believe when Zeke came here how, like, I was kind of worried because you knew he was kind of troublesome leaving the Cowboys. Wasn't like he caused the problem, but you kind of heard locker room stuff and that. To where when he came here, it was like Patriots Way was like, bing, all right, this is where I want to be.
Right.
And he didn't, when they were like, oh, you might be the number 2, he was like, okay, I'm here to help.
And
He has been.
healthy. And he's healthy.
Yes.
Which is something that he hasn't been able to say for the last few years.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Cowboys didn't have it all going on, with Dak out.
Yep.
So they ran Zeke to death.
Oh, yeah.
Then they
time.
bring in Pollard.
And they're doing now to Pollard.
Right. With Dottle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So when you're looking at this running game, like it's really the only solid thing we have going because the blocking, albeit suspect at times.
Yes.
When you run to the right side behind Sal and Onwenu, are you kidding me?
And
that's where they run.
Valero
Ramondre
brought up a good
Stevenson
point.
Runs to the right and he runs behind a rookie and a second, maybe 3rd-year guy, when he's got 9 years in Trent Brown and this is 2nd year for Strange.
Yes,
and probably one of the best centers in football in front of him. So they're running the ball successfully. Let's stay with it. The question is, and they were talking about it the other day during the game, that they in the pregame in the interviews, they were asking Billy O'Brien, and he told them that, I'm giving him his freedom to make the decisions at the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
He's a 3rd-year quarterback who had a terrible 2nd year.
Mm-hmm.
How in the hell are you giving him the freedom to check downs? Because if you notice, delay a game, it's 1 second, 2 seconds. He's shifting everybody, telling people where to go. That should have been on the call.
Yes.
That should have been on the call in the damn huddle. He shouldn't be redirecting and telling people they're in the wrong spots.
Nope.
It should be set up. And if it's not set up, run the play.
Agreed.
Run the play. Because you're taking stupid penalties in false starts.
Yep. Like the motions of moving.
The motion plays, all of that. Like illegal motion, someone didn't report a legal man downfield.
Yes.
Like these are all pre-snap things that are his responsibility. And when he's snapping the ball in a rush with 2 seconds left on the clock, there's no way they're not setting him up for success.
So KJ put in chat that Mac doesn't have the luxury of being patient on offense because the line is so bad. The tackles are horrendous and the tight ends don't give them much help. I will say there has been times that the line has been horrible and we've seen it, but there is also times that Mac Jones can step up in that pocket and he doesn't, and it's like he's staring at his offensive line instead of trusting them to throw. His time from actually throwing the ball is not quick. It's not that Tom style, holy crap, 2 seconds, that ball's gone. To where, it was the Colts game. He's sitting there, he trolls back. A guy, literally fingertips his shoelace, and he crumbles to the ground. And they even came in, and Romo was like, he wasn't even touched. He was barely touched, and he just fell to the ground. So my other thing was it his injury? Do you remember when he hurt his knee and was getting brought down out of Gillette, and he's screaming in pain?
You're talking about the high ankle sprain?
Yeah. Does that scare him to ever feel that pain again? Because in Alabama, you got to think about it. He only really played 1 year and he didn't get hurt. Maybe he got hurt in high school, but he's probably never been hit or hurt like that.
I will say this. He's a tough kid.
Yep.
Right? So, and I'll give you an example of him being a tough kid. I had the luxury a couple years ago in his rookie year when they played Dallas at home.
Mm-hmm.
And the defensive end, his name escapes me right now. He's no longer with Dallas, but I can tell you it was all over SportsCenter. It was all over every television show about this hit that Mac Jones took. He took it straight in the chest.
Yep.
He got lifted up, drilled into the ground. He got up and started clapping his hands, hit the guy in the helmet, and moved back to the end zone, moved back to the huddle.
Yeah.
He's tough.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's the high ankle sprain because that wasn't a vicious hit. That was just a bad twist, and the guy from Baltimore fell down on his ankle.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know if you've ever had a high ankle sprain. It is probably the least comfortable injury that there is that I've ever experienced, and I've had some pretty good injuries in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll say this too. I sound like I'm defending Mac and I'm on Mac Island, but I'll say this too. A couple weeks later, Pat Mahomes got the same injury, and he's walking around the sidelines throwing his helmet around because they won't let him go back in the game, and they taped him up and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, "What a man!" Remember Mac Jones 2 weeks ago? Do you ever see the highlights after that when they're taking him down and they're carrying him into the locker room, and Pat Mahomes is screaming just as badly as Mac Jones was?
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is the face of the NFL. They're not going to make him look bad, but they'll make Mac look
bad. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Do I think, to go back to your question, do I think that high ankle sprain is the reason Mac Jones is Bledsoe-ing the ball, padding,
holding,
not making pre-reads very well? And no, I don't think that it is. I think that you and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago where instead of looking up coming back, he's looking down. Like, where is everybody? Where's the rush coming from? His pre-read is terrible.
Oh,
so his fear is now getting crushed.
Yeah.
You know, like, you ever seen the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves?
Yep.
Do you remember that one scene where the the official quarterback comes back and he oversteps?
Yes.
He crosses over the lines and the offensive line says, "Yeah, let's kill him."
Yeah.
And they just let him go by.
Yep.
I think, my opinion, I think that's sort of what goes on sometimes.
Well,
when Mac was yelling at Gesicki for that whole, you didn't go on a go route, you went on an out route.
What was with Hunter Henry? So I'm going to agree with you, because Hunter Henry says on Sunday after the game that he didn't know till game time that Mac was starting. But he was the only one on the team that answered that way. Why?
Everybody else said, "Oh, was it?" We all knew during the week.
Yeah.
Right. And Billy O'Brien said today, you know, they were like, "Well, how many reps?" Or they asked Belichick today. They asked Coach today, what was the percentage of snaps that each of them took in practice? And Bill said, "Well, I told them all to be ready."
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many snaps? Well, Mac took the majority of the snaps. Billy O'Brien came back later and said, "Well, you know, we're kind of swapping them back and forth. We're trying to figure this out, you know, trying to prepare the team as best as we can." Let me ask you a question, Brandon.
Yep.
You have a starting quarterback, regardless of who it is, whether it's Zappy or if it's Mac. Is your game plan different for each one of them, or are they the exact same player, so you can just do the same snaps all the time?
It'd be different.
Right.
Their style is different.
Why would you prepare Zappy the same way you prepare Mac and expect a better result out of Zappy?
But you wouldn't.
You can't.
No.
You're not preparing the team to be the best suited the best possible way to win.
I think he's doing it to plummet this. Like I think at this point in time, it's his way of being like, all right, well, we're gonna want a better draft pick now. So regardless of who I start, it's really not gonna matter. Let's just give them both a shot and see what happens. Because what is he really losing? Bill's not losing anything.
Well, then why not just start Malik?
Because I don't know why they don't start Malik. Will Greer, what he got re-released again and on the practice squad.
I don't even know if they signed him back to the practice squad. I just think that's a total waste of time. He's thrown for 240 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 4 picks in his 2 starts in football.
Yeah.
Come on.
Really?
He's going to be our savior? Will Greer, who can't stay on a team.
No.
You know, he's not Fitzpatrick. You know what I mean? He's not a journeyman. He's a guy that played well for Dallas, with Dallas having a good team.
Yeah.
When Dak was out with a busted ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Will Greer is not our answer.
No.
He's not. And Patriots fans, I'm a diehard, and you can't quit on the team. It just, if it's Mac, it's Mac. If it's Zappy, it's
Zappy.
I like Zappy's approach to the game. I think he's got a big friend in Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
You know, so why not? Why not? It's not like these guys are not gonna. They're all playing for contracts now.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
They're not playing for anything else.
Nope.
They need to have highlight reels so their agent can go to either the Patriots or another team and say, this is how they played.
Yep. Agreed.
That young kid, Kenyon, what's his name? 99, the defensive end.
Oh, yes.
Right? So this morning, I heard on the radio, well, where the hell is he? Where is he? He was all over the field all day Sunday.
Yep.
Across the field like a linebacker. His only mistake he made on Sunday was a 15-yard personal foul that they never showed. We just came back from a break, and they called a personal foul on the kid.
Yeah.
That kid was hustling.
Yep.
Working hard.
Agreed.
Right? Put Uche on the field. Uche is a hustler. He's a pass rusher.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you can coach him not to go beyond and turn that circle to where the running game is past him.
Yeah. Coaching.
Like, let's get down to business. Like, you have some of the best defensive coaches in football.
And you have almost the best defensive end in the league. He's just out.
Right. And that's part of it, but everybody deals with injuries, everybody's going to come back with that rhetorically. Everybody deals with them.
Yeah, they all do. So it wouldn't have changed if he stayed or not. I mean, games would have been maybe closer, but other than that, it's not going to change our offense. Our offense hasn't done a thing.
Right. And what is it? Really? I mean, Troy Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster arguing in the first half on the sideline.
Yeah.
Does anybody know who Troy Brown is? When have you ever seen Troy Brown upset, regardless of the situation he's ever been in?
Yeah.
Playing for the Patriots for what, 10, 12 years?
And both sides of the ball.
Like, right. And, Ty Law said this morning, he's arguing with Troy Brown? Who does he think he is?
Yeah.
Like, do you not realize that Troy Brown's a beast and it'll probably whip your...
Yeah. My thing on that, and nobody really knows what they obviously were arguing about. I think, like I said, it was the one where Mac called the play, said he wanted to throw the ball. Okay. When Mac came down, he snapped it, and he just looked to the right, and that's where he sat. Juju was wide open.
Yeah.
Most quarterbacks, regardless if the play is set on one person, they still make that other kind of little look and be like, "Ooh, he didn't look at all. He just stayed to his right and was like, I'm throwing it to him," and boom, threw a pick. And it was just like, what why?
I think there's a few things we could look at. I think the first thing is okay, everybody argues the GM portion, the head coach portion, no Tom Brady, blah blah. I would like to know, if I could sit in the press room and ask a question, I would ask, why did you wait 2 years to play Harrison? Why did you wait 2 years to play Uche?
Yeah.
Why did you wait? Why are you waiting? This Booty didn't get his feet down, and you haven't seen him again since. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't an easy grab. That what the reason why he's not playing?
It's contract and what they have for future wise. If you only have a year of tapes, you're only good for that year.
Yeah,
All the other teams won't bite.
If you have talent, if you're Uche, you sat him his first year, his second year didn't come out till his third. You sat Harrison his first year, drafted Ramondre, they split time.
Well, Harris, his first year of being sat, I forget what it was. And then his second year.
Was it an ankle?
Second year was his ankle. He got hurt in preseason. And they just never played him. And then his third year, he finally got to play.
And he played, and then what happens? He walks and goes to Boston. He goes to Buffalo.
Yeah.
You know?
But you knew it was coming. We had Ramondre, though. To have two, that was like a 1-1-2 crazy backs. And you got Zeke, and they're performing almost the same. It's just our playbook is different. So they're not running as much as we were last year. We ran way more last year than this year.
Yeah, but why not?
Yeah.
Like, what are we trying to prove?
I have no idea.
We don't have an elite quarterback that can play in the realm of the new offenses. The Bieniemy offense, the Andy Reid offense, the guy with the Rams. Like, those offenses are high flying. They are like the greatest show on turf in the year 2000. That's what they do. Why, and Josh Allen, same thing.
Yeah.
He's the greatest show on turf. Like, he is the quarterback of the future for Buffalo.
Yep.
But he can't win the games by himself. And that's the struggle. So you need to pick your lane.
Yeah.
Like, the Patriots need to pick their lane, and they need to run the football or commit to something.
Yeah, they're just.
Right? Let's not even say run the football. Commit to something.
Built to me, I still think, and like listening to obviously WEI and all of Boston sports, I kind of almost agree with it that he's stuck in his old times. Like, he won't come out of it. And I don't know if that's just him and how the coaching goes. I don't know, like we were saying earlier, I don't know if last year messed a lot of stuff up. Is Kraft not giving him the money that he gave him? And did Bill shit on, like, when Bill got all that money and got all those tight ends and got those receivers and all of that, and then nothing came out of it, did Kraft be like, hey, we're not doing that again? I'm going to put a $1 billion scoreboard up instead? Because you think with football, and we've talked about this, money in the NFL is fake. It is literally, here's your signing bonus. This is what you're getting a year. But the Patriots only had $3 million. How'd they sign him? Here you go. Here's your upfront. Guaranteed money.
How did the Dolphins? But just to go back really quick, when you say that the game is, or you didn't necessarily say the game is past Bill by, but that is what is the slogan now. Like, you could put it on a banner and hang it from '93 by the Boston Garden saying the game is past Bill by.
Yes.
But I don't believe that's the case. I just don't believe that either Patricia or Billy O'Brien have committed to anything in the offense.
Yes.
We're supposed to throw the ball. That's what the NFL is. We got to throw the ball. We got to throw the ball. We got to throw it long. We got to throw it there. Billy O'Brien had the luxury of having Randy Moss, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
He had the luxury. So I could call plays. Actually, I could throw the football 35 yards to Randy Moss.
Well, also,
just
say where Billy O came from, to be in Alabama, that I don't know, that past 5 years has had the best receivers leave and go into the NFL. Billy O, you were over there on that offense. Anybody can throw to them. Look at what
he was only on the offense last year.
I'm just saying.
Years before, you know what I mean? He was in Houston before that with DeAndre. He had D-Hop.
Yeah.
And they had a battle, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth because I don't really truly believe the reports and that kind of thing about Billy O'Brien and D Hop, because I think it would have been a whole lot worse. They were winning football games. If you remember that football game with the Texans versus, we went down there, the Patriots was down there, and we got picked apart.
Yeah.
That defense was a solid top 5, maybe top 3 defense of the Patriots.
Yep.
And they picked us apart.
Mm-hmm.
So,
just kind of like this year, our defense looked good, and look what Dallas did.
Right.
We might have not had an offense, but we need to keep the score small.
Right.
To even have a chance to stay in that game. And you look at.
I just don't think that the offense is committed to anything. There is really no signature on the offense. Like, Ramondre should be the signature. Zeke is the backup.
Yep.
Your tight end should be running. One should be blocking. Where's Brown?
Yep.
Why is he not on the field?
I don't know. You play him on that one play that caught the ball and had a massive gain. And then you had another one the next game, but called back because our offensive line was holding.
Yes. Right.
Nowhere near the ball. So I was kind of like, that's a dumb call, but okay.
And there's no commitment in this offense. There's just zero. There's no commitment from the coach's standpoint that you can visibly see on the field, whether you're there live or you're watching on television. There's just, you don't run the ball. There's no RPOs. There's no play action. There's very, very little. There's no screen.
Yes.
Screen to Douglas. End around to Douglas.
Yep.
Douglas down the middle, across the middle. You're going to kill that kid.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's 5'8". Tyquan Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell is he?
I don't know. It's supposed to be like one of the greatest receivers in that draft. And he's another, what is it, Tompkins from 3 years ago? Brady's last year? The dude that could not catch a ball?
Oh, my gosh.
And then get hurt? And it was another draft pick that was horrible.
That was horrible.
Just like Kenny said in chat that Billy needs a full-time GM to reload the roster. I hate to say it, but he cannot be in charge of the 2024 draft, or it'll be the same result for next season. And I agree.
Kenny, you're going to take us right into the next segment.
Yep.
Because what do we need to do to repair it is where I think we need to go. I hate to see Bill go. I hope there's some way that they can figure it out. But if he does, if that's the end, Mr. Kraft's decision at the end all be all, I'd like to see Ryan Clark come in here as the GM. The guy on ESPN, he used to be the former GM of the Colts when the Colts were badass with Jeff Saturday and that whole crew.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing. He's smart. He relates to players very well.
Yeah.
You know that the Washington head coach.
Yes.
Can't think of his name. He's gone. They're going to fire him. Who does that relieve? That relieves Bieniemy.
Yeah.
So you bring Bieniemy in as a head coach.
Yep.
Now the offense changes. Now when you draft a Caleb Williams or a Bo Nix or any one of those quarterbacks, the young kid from Washington, now you have someone who can help develop. Then you figure out who your offensive coordinator is going to be. I kind of feel like maybe you bring over, you keep, what's his name? The defensive coordinator now. What's the linebacker?
Vrabel.
Total loss. No, the other one. The one that's there now.
Oh, Mayo.
Mayo. I think you keep Mayo. Because you're not going to be able to keep any of the Belichicks. They're all leaving. I mean, we can agree to that, right? If Bill gets fired, the other Belichicks are going.
It depends on where he goes. Because if I think where I think he's going to go, and I think like 100%, and it was a little bit of a rumor last week and kind of got shoveled underneath the rug, if the Chargers do fire their coach, he's going there. That is one team that Bill knows he can walk in, and he doesn't really have to rebuild.
Brandon, the only other better island than Nantucket in this entire country is Catalina Island off the coast of LA.
Yeah.
So he's just going to move from one to another.
Yep.
Right? and he'd be spot on. He just needs to get the right offensive coordinator. Oh, I wonder who that's going to be.
Probably Josh McDaniels.
Right?
And you send him over there, and that whole quarterback and Allen are going to be unbelievable.
Oh my God! You just start running that same 2007 Patriots offense.
Yep.
where you had three of the best receivers in the NFL.
Yeah.
Moss running over the top, Welker running underneath.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know?
think the Chargers would look insane. That would change their whole thing.
You have Gronk and the other tight end that we really can't name.
Yep.
Or maybe he was gone by then, but you know what I mean? So if he leaves and goes there,
yep.
I think Bieniemy becoming the head coach here.
See, I have a different head coach, which is out of left field, but it has been talked about, which would be Vrabel.
What are the odds, though, that Tennessee's going to let him go?
I don't know. I think it all depends on how their season ends. I also think he wants out because he doesn't get control of that team. His choice was to, I think, and I do believe, was to get rid of Tannehill and bring in Tom. And Tennessee was like, no, we're going to stick with Tannehill.
I can't disagree with that.
And I think he doesn't have any control over anything really down there. So it's kind of like he's just the head coach and doesn't really get a say. Even though, yes, he's not the GM there. I understand that. But a lot of teams that do have their head coach, they at least kind of get to sit in those meetings and have a say of what they want. They don't just let it go through one ear and out the other and be like, nah. Because you had your years. They had Derrick Henry. You could have gotten rid of Tannehill and gone a whole new way, and they'd be a way better team.
They flashed their hand, though, in the process. They got rid of A.J. Brown.
Yep.
Right?
But I think Vrabel was forced to do that. I don't think Vrabel wanted to. I think a lot of that, Vrabel was like, no, I don't want to do that. And they're like, well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, but what sense does it make?
None.
Is it the philosophy, and you know, I had mentioned this to a couple of friends over the last couple of months. Is it the philosophy just to keep a team just like the Cowboys is the perfect example. They haven't won a Super Bowl since when? 1993?
Yeah,
95, something like that.
Something crazy like that.
Ready? So, how is Jerry Jones still a billionaire? How does he have a new stadium after that? He keeps just enough talent on the field to sell regular season tickets.
Yep.
Doesn't matter about the playoffs. Season ticket holders are not going to give up their tickets. You're going to get to the playoffs with Romo 2 or 3 times, play one game and lose, and Romo's going to go out with a back injury. You bring Dak in, and it's the same old song and dance.
Yes.
It's not like they don't have talent.
Yep.
Right? So when it comes down to it, so is that the Patriots' new transition? Let's put up a $250 million scoreboard, and then we're going to put this
and just do enough
glass building behind it and a tower that's, tall enough to interfere with the flyovers during the pregame.
Yeah.
I
think now with the Super Bowl wins, I see where you're going, but I think there's more fans now, and even if we suck for the next 5-6 years, obviously you'll lose those bandwagons, but you would still have enough regardless of your record and money that I think you'd be fine. Way before. So I'm going from when they weren't winning to winning now.
So I'll ask you a question. What is the percentage of the season ticket holders right now that are sheer bandwagon riders? I don't think it's
and I don't believe they are. No, there's not a chance.
I think the waiting list.
But the waiting list has been not cut in half, but it has been dwindling to where it's not easy still. It's still it was when I was working at Stop and Shop, you were looking at 7-8 years ago. It was a good 10+ year wait.
Yeah. I don't know what it is now, but it just seems they're just putting enough. They can't be bandwagoners, and they're just putting enough on the field that now this year they're not putting anything on the field. And that
single day tickets aren't people are trying to sell their tickets as season ticket holders, and people aren't buying them.
True story.
They're just not buying them.
Absolute 100% true story. It's I mean, it's not sad for us. I
Yeah,
mean, we can now afford to buy tickets, and maybe in the lower bowl soon when we want to buy tickets.
yeah.
But it's just you couldn't even sniff tickets.
No,
What, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? So they got to get better in putting product on the field. That scoreboard is not going to do it, or that big TV screen is not going to do it. And it might be the largest TV screen. I don't know if you've seen it, or if anybody has told you about it. It might be the largest TV screen in a NFL
it
field.
is. It's officially the
Okay, but
largest
the
one.
middle of the screen is the same size as the other screen on the other end, and the other two sides are advertisements.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not really, you're not using the whole screen. You're not getting like that 360-degree point of view.
I believe in
It's
Joe. The
doing
whole
nobody
stadium is for sale.
Yeah, you're not doing any. You're not on the. You're not sitting in the stands looking at that screen.
No.
You're. It just doesn't make sense, and I don't know. I like I said, like we started this. I hate to see Bill go.
Yeah,
I don't want to. I don't want him to see.
but I
I
do
don't want to
believe
see
it's
him go.
time. So it's a 10 to 15-year wait list as of right now from RJ
Yeah,
Lewis.
Yeah, that's Ralph. Thanks, Ralph.
That's still, and we've talked about getting on that and doing it so you could use the tickets that they have, like their own exchange. They used to have like the Ticketmaster exchange. Now they have their own exchange. Before, when they were winning, it was like no point because you could never get tickets on there. You had to get
Well,
lucky.
When did they switch over to where the season ticket holders could start selling tickets? Because wasn't it illegal
Okay,
there for the
so
longest time or something like
no,
that?
so it wasn't illegal. So
Sorry.
at Gillette, do you know that big water tower that sits there?
Yeah, the one that has the CBD.
Whatever's on it
slogan
now.
the
Before it
longest
used
CBD.
to be, eBay used to have that, which eBay kind of still is, was a big website. It was like the Amazon back then. Everyone went on eBay to look for stuff. All season ticket holders used to go on there. Or they'd go on there and they'd resell their season tickets. Then it kind of switched to they had like a Ticketmaster or an NFL thing that season ticket holders could take their tickets and put them on there and sell. But what kind of hurt was that the team actually wasn't getting the extra money that you were selling it for. So the Patriots slashed that in half and said, no, we're going to create our own ticket exchange. That for our season tickets, you can put them on there. And I believe they still get a percentage. That's why people like Joe that have season tickets.
Oh, wow.
He'll take his, and he'd rather give them or sell them to somebody that he knows because he's actually getting the direct money. He puts them up on that site. They probably still take a percentage. So New England still, one, gets the money you paid for them, plus a little fee that you sell them for. And I believe on there too, though, they used to have to go for what they sell for, like what the actual ticket price is. But now I think you can kind of up the price.
So what happens if they finish 2-15? What happens to season tickets? What happens to the billion-dollar business?
I think it's
Where's it go? Do we start like going down the drain like you just flush the toilet? And we're just circling the drain and going down, or what happens? What do you think?
I think they're still going to stick there. And a lot of season ticket holders, I think, regardless, because a lot of them waited years and years and years. And these are people that are, like you said, that are season ticket holders that probably come from the 1990s. The latest one I know is a friend that I had that got him. He was on the list. They put him on the list when he was like 9. And he's got to be like his older 40s now, 50s. And I was at Stop and Shop, so 2014, he finally got his tickets. So you're saying in the 90s, they put his tickets in. So you're thinking those fans are still going to buy their thing for how long they waited. Because in your lifetime, it could happen again. So if that was me when I was young, and say you put me on that list, and I have them right now, I'm going to continue to have them because I'm only 34. In the next 20 years, we could win another Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to be in that stadium to see it. So I would just keep it for how long that people have waited for those things. That I just don't think the prices might be an issue that people are going to talk about.
How long does it become to what it was when I was a kid? You say that in 20 years we may win a Super Bowl again. How long is it until it's full of empty seats and we're blacked out because, well, we've done nothing to improve and put a better product on the field? If that's the worst case scenario in the direction we go, when does that season ticket list plummet? How long does it take? What is the last straw? When do diehards start to give up?
I think it's going to be a long time because I just don't see us doing this over like Cleveland Browns over and over and over for like 5 seasons straight. I don't see that. There's way too much. I believe there's too much good talent in college football. Nowadays, it doesn't come by slim. It's just making the right choices. So it's like going into this draft. If, say, we have the second pick, who are you going with? Are you going for the wide receiver? Or are you going for a quarterback? Or do you believe your quarterback that you kind of want will drop to that second round and you can get Harrison Jr.?
I would, if available, I'm assuming we're going to be at 3. You know, even if we don't get another win, I'm assuming we lose the tiebreaker and we'll be at 3. So if it were up to me, my choice would be Harrison Jr. Right? He is a well trained, well coached. His father's like had hands like freaking clamps.
Yeah.
He could catch anything, put anything near him. Then the next pick would be an offensive tackle. Then, third round, like I told you, beginning of the year, beginning of the college year, I was high on Bo Nix.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's the savior, but he can run that fast style offense, releasing the ball quick. Then they have Harrison. Now you have Harrison and whichever receivers you decide you want to keep.
Juju, I think Juju's still going to be here. Because I don't think they want to lose. Who?
Bourne.
I just felt like we haven't seen him.
He got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays at 110%.
Yep.
I would keep him.
I agree.
I might get rid of Parker because I don't really see Parker working as hard as he probably should.
Nope.
So if you're going to put a new quarterback on the field, I might even go get a veteran.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, I think it was Kenny, asked about Mariota.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a fan. He looked pretty good in Atlanta.
Let me ask you this question. So you sit here, say they get Harrison, and there's really no quarterbacks left. Teams decide to just gobble them up. Say Kirk Cousins becomes an option. Would you bring him here?
I'm in.
I 100% agree. I would take Kirk Cousins in a heartbeat.
I'm in. He's just a calm, cool, collected quarterback.
Yep.
He's taken a beating over the years.
Yes.
He's not going to run you to a Super Bowl, but he's also not the bridge quarterback that Tannehill started out to be.
Yeah.
Or Fitzpatrick was. Fitzpatrick is a journeyman. Tannehill just found the right system, But I think this kid, Cousins, not that I'm hoping they go run right out and get him. There's so many others that are going to be available.
Yeah.
I would look at Heineke. Like Heineke's playing backup in Atlanta. It's just because he doesn't move as well as what's his name, Ritter?
Yeah.
Ritter's the quarterback, right? Ritter moves. Like
yes.
Ritter can boogie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's smart.
Agreed.
But, Heineke beat Tom Brady in a playoff game, right? Or
yes.
almost beat Tom
Brady
in a playoff game. Right? So the kid's solid, and he runs the same sort of thing that Howell ran.
Yeah.
Is running in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Bring Bieniemy.
Yeah.
Give me Bieniemy. Give me Bieniemy and give me Heineke.
Yeah. I just want something new.
And then give me Bo Nix or any one of those young kids.
I would take Bo, and the only reason I would say this is I would go Harrison, like you said. I think Bo Nix, I think he's going to end up dropping to the second round where yet again you're at third.
Yeah.
If you get nervous that you think someone's going to take him in the first, there's always picks that you could trade.
Why don't we do another Michigan guy and go get J.J. McCarthy?
Yep.
He's solid. Like, he is a stand in the pocket, big quarterback that moves like Josh Allen. You know, he's just a little bit more on TV than Josh Allen was, right? So you get to see him a little bit more and make his mistakes and whatever. And as he's slowly dwindling, all of a sudden he's in the Heisman race.
Yep.
So you don't need Caleb Williams. You don't. We really don't. The number 1 pick, Caleb Williams. Okay, good for him. But you know,
I just don't like.
JJ,
I just don't want his cocky. Hey, I want a stake in the team. Like, dude. Like, I feel like he's ready for the NFL. I don't know. And I like Kenny's saying, and RJ's said a rumor says Baker Mayfield to the Patriots, and Kenny says I'm amazed they didn't go for Derek Carr when he left the Raiders.
Derek Carr leaving the Raiders, the reason why he didn't come here is because he played for Josh.
Yeah.
And he quit on Josh. And anybody who quits on Josh quit on Bill before he even got here. So
yep.
That's why I would say they didn't go after Derek Carr. That's just my point of view. Ralph, man, I'm with you on Mayfield.
I would take him,
but
as a bridge.
I think with this offensive line, I don't think Mayfield quite is prepared.
Okay,
because I think he's going to get the same thing that he got in Cleveland, where he came out of the gates hot when he had wide receivers and a tight end, you know, and then as the running back started to leave and started to get hurt, then the game changes, and you know, I just don't think, in my opinion, that Mayfield. I don't even think he would be the bridge. I think I would take Mariota over him.
Yeah.
But I'd definitely go.
Which I wouldn't. I didn't even think about Mariota. Like, obviously watching quarterbacks, which I believe is.
I think Kenny brought up Mariota.
One of the greatest shows I watched, because I used to hate Patrick Mahomes. Well, I can't say I hated him. I kind of hated Brittany and them and his brother and how they acted more than I hated him. Because he's
the millennials' mouth.
Yeah, he's fantastic to watch. Like, watching Patrick Mahomes, obviously when he goes against New England, it sucks when he makes those great passes. But then all week you catch yourself watching it on ESPN going, how the hell did he just do that?
They talk. They know how to communicate.
And it's like, I kind of want to see Patrick Mahomes after he loses Travis Kelce. And once he loses, like, that nookie, his first nookie on a team, and see how he rolls throughout that and see if he could keep. I think no matter who the receiver is, they still catch. But I think that chemistry, when it is third down and you're getting in his head, he knows I got to go to Kelce. And it showed last week.
Yeah. Yeah, when you double and triple team Kelce, you know, and Kelce's got an ankle issue right now too, so he's not really quite on top of his game. But I mean, all those other wide receivers, dropping balls and all of that kind of thing. If you're gonna put Patrick Mahomes in the same breath as Tom Brady, then you shouldn't be able to name any wide receivers and just name the tight ends that he had. Because Tom Brady didn't have any great wide receivers except for, like you said, except for Moss.
Yep.
You know, he had a couple others
the only one
out of the woodwork
that I think the whole NFL knows is Edelman. And the only reason? Because that Atlanta catch. If he never made that catch, nobody outside New England would really remember and be like, oh, it was Edelman that won him that Super Bowl. That catch was the greatest catch of all time. Like, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, they talked about Franco Harris's shoestring catch for years.
Yep.
That catch was just him screaming into that mic because he was mic'd up. I caught the ball. I caught it. Yeah.
And Joe said, I think ownership will strongly consider bringing in players that will excite the fan base. We've had too many years of shopping in the clearance section. And I do agree, Joe.
That's 100% right.
Yes. We've been getting these players that are done. Like, we talked about Juju earlier, and Juju sat on a point last year where he was a second guy. He wasn't number one in Kansas City. And he still had 1,000 yards. He still showed up and played. but I think they played him into the right position. He's one-on-one. You bring him here, I don't think he gets that a lot of one-on-ones. They bring the safety over the top, or because we don't really have anybody else.
You can play zone because Matt can't throw ice on a rope and throw it into the open spot.
Yep. And
These
it's like
receivers run routes and don't sit. They don't sit in the open space.
Yeah, and the only clearance that I think that Bill is always good at is defensive guys. J.C. Jackson right now is a hit or miss. I think he's on the end of his prime, but at the same time, he still has made some great plays. That I look at J.C. and he kind of understood. Like I couldn't believe we brought him back because of all the crap he talked after he left. But then we bring him back, and he doesn't get to go to Germany, and completely comes out on social media that it was all his fault.
He's not stupid.
And why has nobody talked about how they said Bill lost the locker room? But you see that whole statement from him.
Yeah.
He obviously hasn't. I think a lot of it is, to like sum up a lot of this conversation, it does go to Mac. A lot of it was last year, and I think they killed his confidence last year with having two offensive coordinators that couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
They couldn't come up with a game plan. And
one's a special teamer and one is a defensive whatever he was.
Yeah. I think it just goes that way. And I don't think, and I kind of agree with Ty Law, and I've heard him say this, I've heard Wiggy say it. I just don't believe Matt can do it here. I think he'd be a good quarterback somewhere else. I just think his time in New England's done. I just don't think it'll ever work here.
No. He's Bill Buckner. The ball went through his legs, the game's over.
Yep.
Like and that's kind of the end of it. Like we're pretty fickle fans. Like if you're not producing, you're not producing. And after 20 years and 12 championships, that's kind of where we lie. You know, you get 4 of the Red Sox, you get 6 with the Patriots, and you get 1 apiece.
Yep.
So you're not doing it. Bye. I'm sorry we wasted our number 15 pick. N'Keal Harry was 34. We gave him less time. So, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
On your way.
Yep.
On your way. And you're not going anywhere to start.
No.
You go somewhere to start. Carolina. They draft an offensive tackle, and Mac Jones goes to Carolina. Why? They fired Frank Reich today.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Give the guy a break. Give him a chance.
Yeah.
It's not like you didn't come to a stock-ready field or a stock-ready team.
No. They drafted their quarterback, and I think the owner is just stuck on him, which Carolina's quarterback, Bryce Young, I think he can have a lot of talent, but he's on a team that has nobody. Can you name anybody from Carolina?
The ghost of God, what's his name? He's probably the best player on the team. Olivia Culpa's boyfriend. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays for he's on my fantasy team. Why can't I think of his name? Yeah, the ghost of him.
Yeah.
And Cam Newton.
Yep.
Like, I'd take Cam Newton. I'd take Randall Cunningham right now from Philadelphia in the early 90s. Like, it just... Kyler Murray, I just want
to know.
God. Kenny and Ralph, Kyler Murray, I would be in, but I do agree that
he'd get killed.
Just get killed. He would just get killed. And Mac was good the first year. He just
I just don't. The Eagles game.
He's got the yips.
I watched the Patriots versus Eagles. Obviously, if a lot of you guys don't know, Eagles are like my second favorite team. They're my NFC team. Obviously, I root for the Patriots over them when they play each other. And we watched them play well. There were some bad plays, but right now, the Eagles are 10-1. And they only beat us by 5. Where did that team right there go?
Yeah, they built around that young kid. They believed in him. They made him feel it too.
Yep.
You know, they went out and got AJ Brown. They drafted Devonta Smith out of Alabama. You know, and Hurts was throwing the ball to him 2 years earlier.
Yep.
So they built speed around him. They've got 3 guys on that team, one on the offensive line and 2 on the defensive line that have over 10 years
Yeah.
experience on that team. I mean, Jason Kelsey is the best center in all of football, even though he had a hiccup this weekend with 2 false starts in a very critical time. I would take him over. It'd be a good battle between him and Andrews for a center.
Yeah.
But Jason Kelsey's a beast.
I would say the difference between that is Jason Kelsey, that last play, he ran all the way outside for Hurts to have a wide open see you later touchdown. Like,
Yeah.
he is like,
And-
for a big guy, he moves so fast that I don't think anybody could pick up on it.
He's smaller than Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's smaller than Travis. Travis is Gronk size. He's 6'6", 6'7", 260.
Yep.
And Jason is like 6'5", 245.
Yeah.
You know, might be a little fatter than that. He might be 280. But, you know, and I don't have it in front of me, but I know that Travis is bigger than he is.
Yes.
More athletic.
Yep.
Travis owns his whole career to Jason, but neither here nor there. So we're at like 8:03. You want to wrap this up?
Yep.
What do you want to do?
Yep, that sounds good to me.
All right. So, guys, we really appreciate you coming out and hanging out and contributing to the show. We're going to be here every Tuesday from 7 to 8 o'clock. Our email address is Campfire Sports Bud Pops. So it's Campfire Sports Bud Pops at gmail.com. If you want to contribute or suggest some topics or, you know, just come into the chat room and talk, that's fantastic. In the future, we are planning on opening it up and bringing people on so that you can talk to us and we can talk back. And we're just trying to get off the ground. I really, really appreciate you all participating.
Agreed.
Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. We will see you next week.
We'll see.
7 p.m.
We'll see you next week,
Thanks, guys.